It's time to greet you with Leshana Tova Tikatevu. May you be inscribed in the book of life for good health this year. Well, if you've rejoined the synagogue or joining a synagogue, in fact, if you're joining or rejoining any synagogue, I want to thank you for living by your values, for realizing, as I do, that synagogue membership isn't like anything else in our lives. It's not like joining our gym and asking ourselves, are we using it often enough to warrant the expense? It's to realize that what we're doing is not only for ourselves, but it's for the people around us, for the community around us. It's also our way as individuals of perpetuating Judaism. We live in the past, the present, and the future when we make these value-based choices. So I want to thank you very much from the bottom of my heart. This year, I want to let you know how you can join us in the High Holy Days and what we're going to do to make it comfortable and enjoyable and hopefully very inspiring for you. I'd say it's exactly what we all need, particularly at this time in the year 2021 or 5781 as it is in the Hebrew calendar. If you're a synagogue member or becoming one, you have or are about to receive a letter that looks like this. And I want to just summarize and clarify some of the information for everybody, because sometimes we hear things differently than we read them. Well, you can join us in two ways for the Holy Days. One is in person, and I hope that you'll consider that. And I hope that what you'll do, if you have a question about it, is rather than necessarily trust your own gut based on the news that you hear and read, maybe ask your medical professional, your own doctor who knows your health, if it's suitable for you to join us. Let them know what we're doing to protect you, and then make a decision based on your medical advice. And there isn't a lot of time for that, so I hope you'll take that seriously. I think it's important and valuable and good for our health to be together and to gather and to stop and to restore and to refresh and to do everything that the High Holy Days offer, but we also need to be thoughtful about our own particular health. So let me tell you what's happening. When you arrive at Shepherd of the Hills, at Shepherd Church, in fact, you'll come up, of course, that's on Rinaldi. You go to the parking garage, that structure, you can park on the ground floor, but we ask you to please use the upstairs as well if you're able, so that there's plenty of space for everybody. Come to services. You'll come, and as you arrive, have proof of vaccination as well as your High Holy Day tickets in your hand, so that it makes this very easy and quick. Please note that our ushers are volunteers. They're doing something that you haven't volunteered for, that they have volunteered for, to make life easy and safe and comfortable for all of us. So let's be kind to them as we'd expect them to be kind to us. As you arrive, you'll be asked just to show proof of your ticket, of course, and your proof of vaccination. If you don't have proof of vaccination, forgot it or don't have it, or are too young to be vaccinated, then you'll go to another line where very quickly you'll have your temperature checked. As simple as that. In any case, unless you have a high temperature or are showing signs of illness, in which case you should not join us for the sake of others and yourself, you'll be invited in. Everyone will be required to wear a mask. Simple as that. That's in accordance with our regulations and the regulations of Shepherd Church, our gracious host. So please bear that in mind. Realize the mitzvah, the act of loving kindness, in fact, of wearing a mask, not only for your own health and well-being, but for the health and well-being of somebody who might be sitting next to you. Well, let's talk about seating. When you come into Shepherd, you'll realize that in the center, there is a reserved section of seating. That doesn't mean that you have to sit in a particular seat. You who have those seats have been given them as a gift from us, and thanks for your support of the synagogue over the last year or over many years past. You can sit wherever you like, in that section or not. Remember, Shepherd is massive. More than 3,000 seats on the ground level and above. You can access the upper level seating through an elevator. Of course, that's ADA accessible, just as the entrances are on the ground level as well. And you'll go upstairs or on the ground level and find somewhere where you're comfortable sitting. Imagine that within about 3,300 seats, you'll find somewhere distance from other people where you're comfortable as a group, as a family, or as an individual in sitting and participating in the services. If you look up at Shepherd at the upper levels on the flanks, left and right, you'll see that there are seats blocked off. In fact, there are 2 rows blocked off between every one that's open to ensure the people who want that added security of social distancing can have it there. You can sit anywhere there. Instead of seeing the prayers up on the screens, you'll see people singing, speaking, chanting, reading from the Torah on the screen. So even if you're at the back, you won't have a bad seat for any of the services. We will be in Shepherd for the entirety of Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. Of course, Rosh Hashanah afternoon will go at 4 o'clock to Zuma Lifeguard Station 6, along with the seagulls and maybe a few dolphins for Tashlich. And Yom Kippur afternoon, in the break between services in the morning and afternoon, both of which take place at Shepherd, we'll have at 1:30 a 12-step gratitude meeting. I encourage you to come. Of course, sit wherever you're comfortable sitting. At 2:30, you'll be asked to quickly, swiftly, comfortably leave the sanctuary so that it can be cleaned, sanitized, before we come in at 3:30 for our next and last service. People always ask me, first of all, can they leave their belongings on seats between the morning and afternoon? Absolutely not this year, because they'll be sanitizing the place. But also, people always ask me, when will Yizkor happen on Yom Kippur afternoon? I'm in the mode of looking at watches or clocks on Yom Kippur, so I don't know exactly, but I know that it comes out around 5 o'clock. Because you're wearing masks, what I'm doing in realization of that, in recognition of that, is shortening the length of every service so that none of the lengths are too onerous, too uncomfortable for you. They won't be too short to where you'll wonder why you drove there, but hopefully you'll have enough time for the beauty and the value and the meaning and the uplift that comes with these services, but not sit there too uncomfortably too long. In the afternoon, you'll come in, we'll have, as I said, an afternoon service in Yom Kippur. It'll be a little shorter than usual, which means that our 5 o'clock Yizkor service might start a little early. If you're coming just for Yizkor, you're welcome to do that. You don't even need to be a synagogue member to do that. You can come in, but I suggest you come in earlier than 5 o'clock so you don't miss the beginning of that service. All right, what else do I would need to tell you? Well, I need to tell you that if you're unable, let's say you're unable or unwilling to come to services in the sanctuary at Shepherd, no problem. We're offering them to our synagogue members online, VOSLATV.com. Very simple this year. In this letter, you'll be given a code. It's very simple. You can't go wrong with the code this year. Just make sure your speakers are turned up so you can join the services, have your own prayer book. If you come to the sanctuary at Shepherd and don't yet have a prayer book, you can purchase them there. You probably know that. If you don't have tickets in hand, need them at the will call desk, we'll take care of you there as well. What haven't I said? Well, between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, the beginning and the end of Yamim Noraim, the high holy days known as the Days of Awe, we're going to have programming online at VOSLATV.com and in person at VOS, various places, throughout that week, those 10 days. So please check the calendar, check your email. If, like me, you find that sometimes important emails end up in your spam or junk folder, please know right now we're sending you important information. Check that. You'll get information on everything that we're doing over the high holy days, how you can participate, and of course we invite you to ask us any questions. Contact our office, contact any one of us if we can help you. I hope you can lean into the services. I hope that if you're home and that's where you choose to be, that you can really carve out time, because I believe we all need this year. I hope more than that, that you can join us in the sanctuaries, all the sanctuaries of synagogues all over the city, the country, all over the world. It's so vital, it's so important that we have this reset that comes of these high holy days. Let's be inspired, let's be recharged, let's be renewed for a year of good health, mental, physical, emotional, happiness, contentment, fulfillment. L'Shana Tova.